What's up, guys? This is Dave Van Auken, once again, back again on the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Happy Monday to you guys. Another start of another fight week. It's awesome that the UFC just keeps on spitting out events. I love it. They had the UFC Jacksonville right after the corona pandemic. The first sport just, boom, putting the flag on Sportsville. And now week after week after week, this week they're back at it again. UFC Apex main event. They go Curtis Razor Blaydes versus Alexander Drago Volkov. A vital, important championship kind of heavyweight title contender fight. Huge fight. That's the main event this Saturday night, guys. And you know what we do. We had Felicia Spencer on a couple weeks ago, another main event fighter. Now we got Curtis Razor Blaydes. He's coming back on the show, guys. We love him here on Fight Bananas. 29 years young, in his prime, 13-2 in the heavyweight division. He is championship material. He's championship bound. I want to talk to him about how they just matched up DC and Stipe. So we got that. We got the trilogy fight. What's Francis Ngannou going to do? What's going on with Jones and Masvidal? So much is going on. Of course, Fight Island, it's a hot topic. So much to talk to the Razor about. But guys, before we talk to Curtis Razor Blaydes, let's thank a couple of our sponsors, Fusion CBD Products. Check them out at FusionCBDProducts.com. Father's Day is around the corner. Make sure you check out FusionCBDProducts.com. All right, guys, we got him. The main event, UFC Fight Night this Saturday night. Main event in heavyweight division versus Alexander Drago Volkov. Curtis Razor Blaydes. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Man, we're doing great here, man. We're doing very blessed. It's awesome. UFC is just spitting out content, just event after event. For one, how were you? We talked pre-corona. We talked after your win after JDS. How you doing, through the pandemic, and how are you doing on the other side of this?
The pandemic hasn't really affected my life at all.
Okay.
I don't really go out at all. So when they locked down everything, all the restaurants and bars and everything, it really didn't bother me because I don't go places, and honestly, I kind of preferred it. There was a lot less traffic, made it easier to get to the gym.
Right. So, okay, you main evented versus JDS last time. You're main eventing here against Alexander. This is a vital, almost title contender fight for you. Does that feel good? Does that mean anything for you to be on the poster 25 minutes? Is that something that you kind of, this is what you want. You want it on your shoulders. You want the UFC to be like, yeah, guys, Curtis is the main event once again.
Yeah. Everyone wants the recognition of being a main event because that means you're good. It means you're legit. It means you're a draw. It means the UFC believes in you. And it means if the UFC believes in you that if you win, then they'll push you.
Oh, that's for sure. And they're pushing Curtis, 13-2, one more, maybe two more. And okay, so they just matched up. Finally, we talked about it too the first time you were on. They just matched up Stipe and DC3. Finally, looks like one way or another, the trilogy is going to happen. DC even said that this is his last fight, win or lose. I would think that you would almost maybe want DC to win. And then that would set up, two new contenders in a way. Does that make sense? Or you don't care, that's out of your window, and you just know you just kind of keep winning?
Yeah, I honestly don't care because I've learned that you can want whatever you want, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So
right.
I'm just going to focus on what I have to do. And if DC does win and then rise off into the sunset, it's awesome. If it's Stipe and then they do Stipe versus Ngannou too, okay, I'll just wait.
Right. And you've beaten everyone else up there, with Alexander now, the Reem, you've got everyone else checked off. It's just waiting, and then if it's Stipe or, Francis for the third time, we'll see. But back to the UFC, I'm just kind of really pro UFC, how they're spitting out events. We just had an event this past weekend. We just had that UFC Jacksonville. I don't know if you've seen the whole Fight Island and everything. Other organizations, and nothing, against them, but PFL canceled the whole year. Bellator, is still off the map. We don't know what's happened with that. Are you, proud to kind of call yourself a UFC, fighter? They're back. We're rolling. The flag is definitely in the dirt for MMA right now.
I've always been proud to be a part of the UFC. This is the premier organization. I do believe, not to talk down on the other organizations or the fighters, but the UFC to me has always had the best fighters in the world. So I've always been proud. But yeah, the fact that we're the only sport that's active right now, it only adds to that pride.
Oh, for sure. And then, Curtis, have you been a little, I know you wanted this fight, another main event, like I said, it's at the Apex this Saturday night. Is there a little something of you man, I kind of wanted to see the Fight Island. I kind of wanted to be a part of one of those events, or no, not at all. You just wanted to get one in even before. A lot of people told me they didn't want to go out there. They didn't want to fly out there and be gone for, 10 days, 2 weeks of that kind of nature. So are you pumped or more excited that your kind of fight is happening before Fight Island kind of takes over for that month of July?
Yeah, I'd rather be in the States or where my fight was originally supposed to be at Saskatchewan.
Right.
Even that would have been all right. But I went to Abu Dhabi last year to fight Abdulrahimov, and it was a cool experience. But I don't really enjoy doing 18-hour flights before a fight.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough on the body. All right, let's talk about him. Alexander, 31-7. He's 5-1 in the UFC, and that one loss was to Derek Lewis very, very late. That a fight that he was winning, he could easily be 6-0 here in the UFC. Like I said, this is to me a title contender in the heavyweight division. How much have you watched of Alexander? Are you really just paying attention of your own, or do you know how good he is? Do you know what Drago can do, and how forward are you looking to this opportunity to defeat another top end heavyweight?
I respect Alex. I've watched a couple of the fights before. I watched the Derek Lewis one, and like you said, he was owning that whole fight until that last exchange. Pretty much, to me, he won. Derek Lewis didn't really earn that victory. And I watched him against Verdum. I also noticed Verdum was able to take him down twice. So I know where he wants to be. He wants to be long. He wants to use his lead leg attacks. He wants to use the teeps and that type of stuff. He doesn't want to be in zone one in the clinching engagements, because that's where I'm stronger. He's long. Once I get in his reach, there won't be a whole lot he can do, and I'll be able to dominate. I know he definitely doesn't want to grapple. He definitely doesn't want to wrestle. He definitely doesn't want to be underneath me, and that's where he's going to end up.
Right, and Curtis, that's what probably JDS was saying the same thing. Like I said, I remember talking to you about it. You're like, hey, I really saw the fight, you taking him down and doing what you do best. But what was it, 45 seconds, a minute and a half into the fight? With your hands, you made JDS go to sleep. So I think people, in a way now, Curtis, they're almost sleeping on your stand-up. They're sleeping on your hands, and they're trying to not let you get close. They don't want you to get into zone one. They don't want them, to take you down. So it's just I really think that's such a good opportunity for you to show other heavyweights what you can do with those two big hands of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't mind if they sleep on my hands. The longer they sleep, the more I'm going to sleep them, Had Junior respected my hands a little more, then maybe he doesn't get knocked out, but then he probably does end up on his back, and then it's probably a whole lot worse. So it's really a pick your poison. Most guys aren't going to want option A, because option A is a guaranteed
right.
Weapon. Option B, they have a shot. If we're striking, it's heavyweight. If one of us connects, one of us is going to sleep. But with the threat of my takedowns, guys are less aggressive. They don't want to put no power into their shots. If they do, they have to anchor down their hips. When you anchor your hips, if you miss, I'm going to get your hips and you're going to be on your back. So guys are a lot less aggressive when they know they could potentially end up on the back.
Oh, for sure. And Curtis, man, they need option C, D, E, 13-2. If his name isn't Francis, you're unbeaten, undefeated. You're an absolute problem for the heavyweight division. You're a top-ranked guy. Okay. I'm a heavyweight guy. Growing up, of course, with boxing and Mike Tyson and, Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. And now I love the new guys, of Fury and Joshua and stuff of that nature. But I feel like MMA, for some reason, this last 2-3 months, with Francis knocking out Jared real quick, made a scene. Greg Hardy just got another win. We just had another heavyweight in the co-main event a couple weeks. The Stipe trilogy, that's lined up. And now with you guys in another main event, seems like in the last 90 days, the UFC's like, all right, main eventers, heavyweights, let's go. Let's spotlight a lot on you. Is that important to you? Is that something that you would love? Because there's nothing like a heavyweight fight, especially in Las Vegas. There's just nothing like it in the world. It's just, especially with fans sooner or later, hopefully being in the crowd. What does it mean to you to kind of keep this momentum of the main eventers for the heavyweight division?
Well, this is going to sound kind of selfish, but I can really care less about the rest of the division.
Okay.
I like to be a main event because there's an extra $25,000 and there's more eyes on you. And more eyes means more Instagram followers. More Instagram followers means more paying sponsors. So that's really what it's about for me. It's all about the money.
Now, that's real talk, Curtis. I respect it 100%. That's real talk. Talking about that, how about on the last, 10 days, it seems like guys like Masvidal, Jones, Conor, even Cejudo are like, hey, they're feeling like they might not be paid enough, and they're kind of, looks like taking a stand almost, especially those main eventers, big-time names. They're saying, hey, until you pay us a little bit more, we might sit out. What's your 2 cents on that?
I'm happy for them. I'm proud. We
right.
do need to make a stand, and those guys are all in the positions where they can do that. They have enough money put away that they're good. Me, on the other hand, I'm not at that point yet. So I'm proud of them for doing what they're doing, and I hope to see other fighters in their positions, like the Joannas and who else, the Holloway, like big names that have already reaped a lot of money and they can afford to be out for up to a year. The more guys that do it, the more pressure it puts on the UFC brass to, open up that bank.
100% agree. 100%, Kurt. I talked to a couple young fighters too in the middleweight division last week, and they said the same thing you just did. They're like, that means so much to our generation and to the generation coming behind it. It's if they never take a stand, if these, the main eventers never say, hey, we want more, there's no reason to ever pay the main eventers more, and of course it all trickles downhill. Those guys can do it, and I think it was, I'm a UFC guy. Definitely, but I'm always pro fighter first and foremost. You guys are the ones in the octagon. You guys are the ones grinding day in, day out. You guys are the ones putting your body and life on the line. So I'm always pro fighter. I think you guys are way deserving for more, a more upfront and of course more long term too, Curtis. I'm talking about like more, health benefits and maybe even more like retirement fund. Like, the NFL is giving the retired
healthcare would be nice.
Exactly, healthcare would be nice. And so there's just a couple things that I think the UFC should be able to do for you guys going in the future. I really do. But here we go. Curtis Blaydes main event this Saturday night, ESPN Plus. So my main man, this is a big fight. What do you see it? You see it quick and early? Do you see, hey, I'm ready to go for 25 minutes. It doesn't matter. I'm just getting the W. How do you see this fight really rolling out?
I always envision my fights ending in a war, a tough decision. Always. Even going all the way back to the Alistair fight, in my head, that was going to be a 3-round decision that I was going to win. And then I got the finish. I never hunt the finishes. Like the last one, the junior fight, I was prepared to do what I was doing for the rest of the fight. But it just so happened that I was able to connect it earlier than I thought and put him away.
There we go. I love it, man. Guys, this main event is this. This is big time heavyweight main event. Curtis Razor Blaydes, man. We appreciate your time. Like I said, we'll talk right after the fight. We'll talk after your victory. We'll do a little face-to-face. We'll do a little Skype action. But Curtis, man, appreciate your time. It's fight week for you. And, man, much success to you and yours. And we'll talk real soon, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate you
Thank
having
you, man.
me on the show again, man.
Absolutely, brother. Gotcha. There we go, guys. Main event this Saturday. Curtis Razor Blaydes. What a good show this is. This is just one of those shows, very underrated. And, guys, Curtis is just a top-end heavyweight. He's right there, top-ranked. Alexander Volkov, though, right there, 31-7. Like I said, he should be 6-0 in the UFC. And if you do that in the heavyweight division, you're doing something serious. And then this show is stacked. A lot of female fights on it. We got our girl Jillian Savage Robertson on it. Roxanne's on it. Tisha Torres is on it. I love the co-main event. Unbelievable match. Featherweight fight right there with Burroughs and Josh Emmett. Been on the show 2-3 times. We love us some Josh Emmett here at Fight Bananas. So that's a huge fight. A couple other sleepers. We got Roosevelt Roberts versus Jim Miller. You know what I'm saying? Roberts just defeated Brock Weaver. Stopped a lot of that hype train that Roberts was adamant about. But Jim Miller's just one of those veterans, been around the game for a while. Bobby Green, Clay Guida. It's a stacked card from stop to, I'm telling you guys, from beginning to the end, prelims. And then we end in the main event in the heavyweight division. Volkov versus Blaydes. Winner moves on. I like what Curtis said, too, about I'll wait. You know, let's see what happens with the trilogy. We'll see what happens with Francis. You just never know. Maybe the deal doesn't happen with Francis. Maybe Blaydes, Stipe. Or if, like I said, if DC wins the title and walks, and maybe Stipe doesn't get a match, maybe they might do Blaydes, Francis for the title. You just never know. Blaydes, Reem for it. It's so many possibilities in the next 2 months for the heavyweight division. So, huge, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for listening. This is another edition of the Fight Bananas podcast. Thank you to Curtis Razor Blaydes. Make sure you follow him on the IG. He main event Saturday night versus Alexander Drago Volkov. All right, guys, let's thank one last time Makotech Mouthguards and Still Nutrition and our guys over there at Warhammer Fightwear. Check them out at warhammerfightwear.com. You can always get their dry fit tees. You know I wear them 2 times a week. Check them out on the Amazon app or just at warhammerfightwear.com. All right, guys, let's go. Another big week here at Fight Bananas. Make sure you download, share, subscribe, share to a friend, subscribe to our Fight Bananas YouTube channel. And like always, guys, stay bananas. We'll watch Curtis Blaydes' main event, ESPN Plus, this Saturday night.